Alright, we are on the draw here with Rug Delver in match 3 of this league. A very bad hand to start us off. 5 lands is not what we want. If we knew for sure we were playing against green-red land destruction, this is maybe okay. Even then, it's probably really bad. Maybe? I don't know. I'm going to mulligan anyways. The opponent also mulliganed. This hand is significantly better, and we're going to keep it. The opponent kept 6 as well. Bolt on top. Well, do I want to draw a lightning bolt? I could see a lot of scenarios in which I want to draw a lightning bolt, so I'm going to leave that on top. Shambling Vent from the opponent makes me a lot less eager to have a lightning bolt. Does make me want to play this Delver, though. We're going to grab a Steam Vents. No real reason to worry about green over red. I guess it's unlikely the opponent has a bunch of aggressive creatures we need to bolt. That's something. I do like keeping the bolt on top in the dark, though, because we have a guaranteed way to answer small aggressive creatures out of the opponent. And small aggressive creatures are the best way to punish one-landers. The opponent goes land pass. That's interesting. Another bolt on top. We're going to reveal that. At least Aberration's going to have some bite to it. Is this a path? Oh, thank you. Thank you, oh merciful opponent. Yeah, I'll use the ability. Do we give up on green mana to have double blue? Probably not. I expect a Thought Scout. It's hard. It's hard. Okay, so here's the decision point. I'm not going to cast this Delver with this Steam Vents because I want to hold up Stubborn Denial in case they have a Liliana of the Veil, because this looks like Abzan. If they don't play the Liliana, we get to Thought Scour, which is something. Once Thought Scour or Denial is out of our hand, we don't need double blue as badly. We'd still like it, but I guess we don't need it. Oh, wow. Okay. That's just fantastic. We're just operating on all cylinders here. We have zero problems. I think I want to fetch here just so we can hold up the lightning bolt as well. It's not that relevant, but it's something. We drew out of that really well. Good job, deck. Look at you go. Jeez. That's fantastic. From 1 land to 3 lands in one fell swoop. That's the drawback of Path right there. If they have a Liliana of the Veil, I'm going to be pretty happy. If they don't, I'm going to be less happy. If they do have the Liliana, we denial it. If not, we're probably going to end up scouring ourselves. If we see a Grim Flare, that's going to get bolted. Lingering Souls. Do I denial that? I actually might. That's going to help Delver get in. Why do we have... We are yielding. Okay. Whatever that means. I don't know what we're yielding to. No possible play yield all. Oh, that's 8. I'm assuming that's 8. Are we going to counter this? Probably. I don't think this denial's getting much better. I guess it gets a lot better if we hit a red or blue source, which is any land. Because then we get Nux with denial up. Here's a breeding pool, so this is the exact scenario in which I would have wanted to hold on to that denial. Now, do I want to just slam Knuckleblade here? If they untap, remove Delver, they can theoretically hit the Nux with a Liliana effect. Not that likely. They have Black Source, Push, and Liliana. So I'm actually just going to slam Knuckleblade. Get in for 1 with Delver of Secrets. And I don't think I want to shock. I feel like shocking is unnecessary. Which... Where is it? Keyboard shortcuts. Toggle auto pass, which is the 5 stops passing. There we go. Okay, it's gone. We hit 8, it's back. That's what that was. That was bugging me. If we shock, we get to hold up Thought Scour, which could be relevant, but it's not that helpful. So I'm going to do that. Keep the life total instead. I think I'd rather have the 2 points of life. If we had a counter spell in hand, there's no way I'm not shocking there. We did give that up, though, on the assumption that we wouldn't hit the 4th land, which I think is pretty fair. Not a lot of lands left. Countering the Lingering Souls gives us some value. Maybe we should have just waited to find a Goyf or a Mandrills. I'm not sure. Even those, we wouldn't draw for a while, and even after we draw them, if we get lucky and we draw them right away, we have a little bit of time before we can do anything profitable with the state of these graveyards. Mandrills would cost 3 mana due to only having 3 cards, and that's because we played the Denial. Do they just have a bunch of stuff? Am I going to regret my life choices? It's a Rhino. Alright. Alright, that's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. What do we got? Delver, Vapor Snag. Oh my lord, do I just get as frisky as one can get? We're swinging with the Aberration, no doubt about it. Do we swing with Nux? Probably. They can't actually block Nux, because then we just blow them out. This is one of the reasons I like Knuckleblade in this deck against these sorts of matchups. Not Abzan specifically, because they have a lot of ways to deal with Knuckleblade for a tempo-positive exchange. But I'm going to do this. See what they want to do. No blocks. And you know what? I actually don't need that much mana. So I would rather put them down to 9. Go to them. Let's see what's up. I think you generally want to be aggressive against Abzan when you can, because Abzan has really good removal, and I don't expect these threats to last very long. We could theoretically have held up the mana to use Knuckleblade's blue ability, returning it to our hand in the event of them having a removal spell, but that's honestly not even that great. If they swing, I'm taking it. Not looking to Vapor Snag the Siege Rhino in this spot because that lets them put it back down. And I don't want them to get another Helix. Helixes are generally good when people are trying to burn you out. They know about the Vapor Snag, they don't know about the Bolt or the Scour. The opponent flashing back Lingering Souls, that's fine. If they pass the turn here, we're probably going to either cast Scour or Bolt. I imagine it's going to be Lightning Bolt because we're choked on red, in case we draw another Bolt effect. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Looks like a removal spell. It's a Grim Flare. They don't have Delirium. Now, what should we do about that Grim Flare? Do we bolt the Flare, or do we bolt the face? This is a very important decision point because it's probably going to decide the game. If we bolt the Grim Flare, they don't have great blocks. They probably want to trade both spirits for the Aberration, and we're able to put them down to 3, which is okay. It's not the worst, it's not the best. If we bolt the face, their blocks still aren't good. They probably trade with Aberration, and they still have the ability to at least chump the Knuckleblade. You know what? I'm going to bolt face, force blocks. We might just Vapor Snag something anyways. Like I said, I want to be aggressive. We hit a Misty Rainforest. I believe I want to Thought Scour myself here, because we might just draw another Bolt. And we have plenty of blue mana. So that isn't really a consideration. Do that. Bolt. Fantastic. We're going to swing with both. Vapor Snag, probably the Grim Flare. If they don't double chump, they're dead. Actually, let's play this too. just because we can. Vapor snag this. Put that back in your hand. If you could just hold on to that for me for a minute, that would be great. Swing with both of these. That, opponent, is probably a good decision. However, that puts us in a really good spot. Go to the opponent, we still have this bolt in hand, ready to fly. Ready to be loosed like an arrow into the opponent's face. Or into a Grim Flare, a Shambling Vent, into something. Bolt shall be loosed into something. For those of you who don't know, the sound is when you let go of the arrow and the bowstring, and then it flies forward, and you have that... It's like a whoosh, I want to say. That's the best word to use for the sound. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The... At least that's how I imagine arrows sound. It's been a while since I touched a bow. Grade 8 camping trip. They play Goyf. They've got Grim Flare plus Mystery card. What'll it be? Grim Flare. They have a Mystery card. If it's a Path to Exile, they can take out our Delver, Aberration, if you will, without dying to Bolt. If it's a Fatal Push, they're going to have to Shock. And that's not great for the opponent. Here's a Thought Scour. Are we just going to start off on that? We start off on Scour. It gives us more options, which is something I like. We still have plenty of mana, so if the option it gets us is bad, we can still activate one of these abilities. Play the Aberration. I'ma cast this Bauble. We grew their Tarmogoyf. We didn't grow the Grimflayer because it's our graveyard. Look at their top card. I guess we could look at ours for the Scry. That might be better. Looking at our top card for the Scry off this fetch. They've got an Overgrown Tomb on top of their deck. I think I'm just going to swing with the Aberration. Swinging with the Knuckleblade seems pretty bad when they can block with this Tarmogoyf, force us to activate the ability, then we're kind of dead. Well, I guess that's kind of the same as us blocking one of their threats, so that's not even the worst. We do get to draw off of the Bauble, though, so I kind of want to leave a little bit of mana open. Swing with this Aberration. They might just be dead here, and that part doesn't matter. Fantastic. Fantastic. Abzan doesn't have counterspells, right? Right? Is that correct? That's correct. Taking game 1 against Abzan, not that much of a feat, but it's a bit of a feat. Abzan is pretty good against us. Lingering Souls blocks for days. Tarmogoyfs. To be fair, they didn't have a Goyf for a while. Siege Rhino gains life? That's not fair. And it blocks? What is that? Path to Exile? Doesn't care about toughness? I'd say it's a bad matchup. It's not that bad. Probably slightly unfavorable. Maybe just straight up unfavorable. Let's see how we sideboard against the GBX threat. Gonna take out Knuckleblade. It was good. But they also didn't draw Abrupt Decay. And they didn't path it. They pathed our Delver of Secrets instead after it transformed. Also going to take out, what else do we have here? 3 Thought Scour. That's probably unnecessary. Disrupting Shoal gonna go. Don't really want a 2-for-1 myself. Take out some Bolt effects. Now these I'm iffy on because I actually kind of like Bolt against Abzan. More so when they have Noble Hierarch. But I guess they don't usually have that these days. Gonna take out a Stubborn Denial, because I kind of want to trim counters a little bit. And I'm actually going to take out a Wooded Foothills, because they're going to do a decent job of helping us find lands. Let's see what we should board in before we adjust. Young Pyromancer still in its trial period. We're going to see if that's worth anything. 3 Blood Moons. That should be good. They had a basic forest that game. They got that of their own volition. That was good on them. save some life. Doesn't really play around Blood Moon Game 1. Gonna play around Blood Moon Game 2 probably, at least a little bit. I like to bring in Pyroclasm against Abzan. I should reword that. I bring in Pyroclasm against Abzan. I don't know if I actually like it, but I think it's something that makes sense. We need 2 more cards, EE and Flash Freeze. Flash Freeze counters things like Goyf, Siege Rhino. EE just kills stuff, kills Tarmogoyfs, kills Lingering Souls tokens, kills Liliana if you've got the mana for it. So Pyroclasm, something I like about Pyroclasm is it can deal with Lingering Souls tokens, which can chump block for a while and even present a pretty good clock. If you play in Flashback Souls, you get 4 power on board, and it's all evasive. That's pretty good. Pretty good clock. So Pyroclasm helps to deal with that. It can deal with small Grim Flayers, but that's less of why I bring it in. I don't like Kozilek's Return because I think it's too expensive for this kind of effect, which isn't even that good. I could see not bringing in the Pyroclasm and instead bringing back one of the bolts, possibly cutting another counter spell for one of the bolts, trying to make our top decks a little better. This is a matchup in which I want good top decks because they have a lot of removal and a lot of discard. We're going to keep this hand because it's pretty good. Other things against Abzan. So basically they're just going to shove both of us into top deck mode and beat us with better cards, basically. I mean, I love my deck, don't get me wrong. I don't think these cards are bad. I know some people do think that some of these cards are bad. But you know what? They're not as good as Tarmogoyf, Liliana, even Grimflayer's pretty good, Siege Rhino, Path to Exile. Those are objectively good cards. Snapcaster Mage is good in the matchup. Don't know if I actively like it. Think I'm just going to shock here. Play a Delver of Secrets, cast this Mishra's Bauble. Hopefully we're going to be able to use that to transform Delver. If they remove the first Delver, we're probably not going to crack the Bauble until the second one hits the board. Otherwise, we probably crack Bauble right away. Fatal Push, that's fine. We're not going to crack the Bauble. Yep. Yup. Yup. Flash Freeze. I don't think we need to hold that up on 3 mana. I'm a lot happier holding that up on 4. So let's just play this. We're probably going to end up fetching prior to using the Bauble. If we didn't have the Bauble, I would want to not fetch so that we could get Delver Scry maybe. I don't know if I would actually take that line, but something I would consider more heavily. So anyways, on the topic of top decks against Abzan. We couldn't counter a Liliana, so it doesn't matter that we put down our ability to. Playing out the Delver was the best way to play around Liliana. That's just a thought that jumped into my head when I saw them play their 3rd land. Anyways, top decks. Against BGX Midrange, that's fantastic. Not actually fantastic, but it's okay. We get Blood Moon mana, right? We can cut ourselves off of red. I'll get into top decks for game 3, I promise. Or at the end. We'll get there. It has to do with my sideboard anyway, so that makes sense. As is, I keep getting interrupted and interrupting myself. So do we want red mana with our fetch? Probably. We'll get Island Steam Vents. Do I want double green? I probably want double green. Island Stomping Ground. Done. Bam. Look at that. Still got there. Resolve. Stomping Ground. Absolutely. Not gonna pay. Now that we're out of Delvers, we're probably just going to crack this. Get some velocity going, see more cards. They have a Grimflayer on top. That's something I'd consider flash freezing. We drew a Bolt. Maybe I wouldn't. And we have another red source. If we knew we would draw this, we would have gotten the basic forest, because then we have Blood Moon mana. As is, we didn't, so we didn't. Probably just going to play that tapped past the turn. Hold up Flash Freeze, hold up Bolt. Sooner or later, we're going to want to get that Snapcaster Mage into play, because they still have 20 life. But, well, it's 19 now. But Snapcaster Mage is very good in these mid-range matchups, because it's a 2-for-1 that they usually have to end up answering with a removal spell, and you get to flash back a card. So I really want to get a card out of this Snapcaster Mage. That's the kind of thing that can actually put you over the top in these matchups. Here's a Nihil Spellbomb. That'll eventually be really good against Snapcaster Mage. We're probably going to see the Flare, I assume we're going to see the flare. No flare. That's interesting. They're holding up the activation, perhaps? Do I just bolt face here? That means we lose the bolt. I kind of don't want to do that. It's not great not being proactive. Well, proactive draw, so we got saved. We should open the Grimflayer tab. I really want them to pop the Nihil Spellbomb before I get something into the graveyard that I actually want to flashback. Please use it. Ah, they're being patient. That's very frustrating, because that means we have to be patient. And it's hard to be patient against this kind of deck. It takes a lot of discipline. Being proactive, usually good. If being proactive means you're going to lose all of your resources and the opponent will just leverage that against you, it's a lot less good. A lot less good. I don't know why they're not casting... Did they fetch it away? I just need to check that. We bobbled. Where did we bobble? Played a Misty, we activated the bobble, we saw it, we drew, and then they used it. So they don't have this Grimflayer. I messed up. That makes me a little more eager to bolt face, but that still means we lose the bolt. And I don't really want to lose bolt. Mandrills. That's fantastic. That allows us to get in under this spell bomb. I'm probably casting this immediately. It's unfortunate that we can't hold up Flash Freeze while we do that, but I still think it's worth it. If they have Damnation, we're probably going to get punished, but can we afford to play around Damnation when they're at 19 life? I doubt it. Make that spell bomb a lot worse. I want to do this before combat, so they don't try to draw into a removal spell, just in case that's what the opponent's plan is. Delve is interesting because you can really play around Graveyard Hate and actually make their hate really bad in some scenarios. This isn't really one such scenario because this is still going to cycle. We still have Snapcaster Mage. And they forced the Mandrills out of us early, meaning that we couldn't Flash Freeze. We weren't able to hold up Flash Freeze while playing Mandrills. So Nihil Spellbomb actually had real value. On the other hand, they had Graveyard Hate, and our Graveyard Synergy just basically said, cool, you have Graveyard Hate. Do you think I care? And then we had a 4/4 for 3 mana, which really isn't that great of a rate, but what are you going to do? Sometimes you just got to make the plays that you think are good, even if they're not the best. The opponent's got an Inquisition. That's probably taking our Snapcaster Mage. Could take EE. Us having Vapor Snag plus Flash Freeze makes that a little less likely. So I have to imagine they're taking the 2-for-1, but they might not. If they have a Liliana, how bad of a spot are we in? We still weren't able to play around Liliana, so I don't feel bad about playing into it. But how bad is the scenario for us in which they have Lily? They took Snap. Good choice. 2-for-1s with versatility are pretty good. Here's a Maelstrom Pulse. That's probably worth burning the Vapor Snag on. I think so. We still have the EE for removal, so that's something. We're going to draw a card. It's a Misty. That means we can play Mandrills for 3 mana, hold up Flash Freeze. We're also going to get a basic Forest so that we have better Blood Moon mana. I mean, there's not really a reason to tap much. Do I actually want to leave my graveyard more intact? I don't think so. I'm going to do that. If they have Liliana, we are in trouble. But we can at least 2-for-1 ourselves to deal with it. And then hope. And then we enter the hope phase of the game, in which they're at 19 life and we have nothing going on. And we dream that we somehow find a way out of this. Flare, sorcery, artifact, 2 types, instant land. That's going to be a 4/4 if we let it resolve. Makes me want to burn this Flash Freeze. They might top deck a Rhino, but that's probably just fine. We're going to get the island. Really good Blood Moon mana here. Serum Visions. Very good card. Great top deck. Finds us a Traverse, which we're going to throw on top. Bottom this land. We probably shouldn't have topped that Traverse because our graveyard is really bad. And that makes me just want to draw the Traverse so that we can get through more cards. We're not going to proactively play this EE, or should we? They can Abrupt Decay it if we play it too soon. They can also Pulse it. They can make us discard it if we don't play it out, but that's probably okay, because that actually makes the Traverse better, and I don't think they want to turn on Traverse. Traverse is a card that doesn't really let you play around Graveyard Hate. Here's a Siege Rhino. That's something we would have wanted to Flash Freeze, but we went for the Flare instead. Maybe we shouldn't have made that decision. I'll probably rewatch the match to see what's up. Foothills means we can turn on Delirium. Okay, so this Rhino is going to kill us very soon. I think what we need to do is play this for 0, pop it, crack this land, enable Traverse, Traverse out the absolute best threat we can think of. What's in our deck? I'm going to take a look at our deck for a second here. Modern. Rug Delver. Okay. Mandrills, Nux, Goyf, Snapcaster Mage, Peasy, Huntmaster. Let's head back to the game. We still have a decent amount of time. Now the problem with this line is we're going to lose the EE, which is a pretty big deal. Snapcaster Mage seems really bad. I think we're just going to go for it though, because I think it's better than everything else we have going on. So, 2 mana to activate, 1 mana for Traverse, 4 mana available. We're going to be able to get whatever we want. Oh no, I'm not screwing that up. That would be so bad. That would be so freaking bad. Crack that. Traverse. Okay. What threat saves us? Keep in mind, if they have a single removal spell, we're in a terrible spot, so we're probably not playing around them having a removal spell. Huntmaster buys us some time. Nux is out of the deck. That's something I probably should have thought of. I kind of want to go with Goyf, just because if they have an answer to anything, we're basically screwed, and Goyf is the one card that says if you don't have an answer, we're in a really good spot. Huntmaster is similar to that, so I might go with that. How big's Goyf? Artifact, land, sorcery, instant, creature. 5/6 is good. So we get Goyf or Huntmaster. Huntmaster gains us some life, makes a body. If they don't have the removal spell, we can shoot down the Rhino. So I actually kind of like that. The ceiling feels better. Green, red, blue, blue. Play Huntmaster. It also slows down the Rhino clock. If they don't have anything, we transform the Huntmaster into Ravager, shoot Rhino, shoot them for 2, bolt the Rhino, finish that off, in for a bunch. They swing, no blocks. Can't deal with it. Happens. Do they have a spell? They might. We're just in main. They have something. What is it? It's Tireless Tracker. Into land, make a clue. Okay. So how are we going to answer that? Because that's the next problem. We can deal with Rhino. Will we be able to deal with Tracker? They can only pop 1 clue, so we could always just bolt that. But I don't know if that's what I want to do. Go to us. Another bolt would be great. Mana leak. That's less good. Okay. We can at least chump the Tracker. So that's not too bad. Feels bad, but it's not too bad. We're going to pass the turn, poke Rhino, and then shoot Rhino with the bolt. I think that's our best bet. What's in exile right now? Vapor Snag. That means we still have Dismember, which Tireless Tracker is going to exit the range of pretty soon. We're going to pass the turn. No attacks. Because I don't want to swing with the Wolf and not be able to chump a big Tracker. And I don't want to lose my Huntmaster to the Tracker. So pass to them. Yes. 2 mana, pop a clue. That's good. Well, good for them. Not good for us. Currently a 4/3. We can no longer bolt that, but that's okay. We could theoretically double block it, if that seems like a good idea. If they drew into a removal spell, we're just all kinds of screwed. But we've been, screwed to a removal spell ever since they resolved this Rhino and we had very little going on. I'm actually going to wait a little bit here. We don't have to bolt yet, so we're not going to. May as well see what the opponent does first. Combat. They swing with both. We're going to bolt the Rhino. That's step 1. Finish that off. Question is, do we give up our Ravager to try to deal with the Tireless Tracker? We have a leak in hand, so there's that. We're not winning the race, so I'm actually inclined to do so. I'm actually just going to put the Ravager in front, I think. But then... So basically, they can only crack 1 clue, making this a 5/4, meaning that these trade anyways, regardlessly of whether or not we put the wolf in front. If they crack the clue and draw into a path, they deal with Ravager, and then Tracker's going to eat the wolf. So I think I'm just going to block with the 1. That way, if they do have the removal spell, we're going to be able to chump block with the wolf, giving us an extra turn against the active Tracker. This might get mana leaked. Oh, it's a Lingering Souls? Oh, geez. Remember when I said Souls was pretty good? Because it can make a really good evasive clock? 4 power? Is that what we're doing? I think that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I'm not going to mana leak it because I think I really just need to draw Pyroclasm. Snap Bolt helps. Snap Traverse helps more. That was a draw. Snap Traverse Huntmaster? Oh, geez. That puts us back in the game. It's entirely possible we should have mana leaked half of the Lingering Souls. Most likely in the case where we don't have the ability to hold up mana. But I don't think Snap Traverse Huntmaster is that common of a line. Instant, sorcery, land artifact, also instant, no, also creature now in our graveyard. Cast Snapcaster Mage. Target the really good top deck. I really like Traverse in these matchups. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Cast. We just find Huntmaster, right? Huntmaster is going to give us an out to these Souls tokens, which is fantastic. Make more bodies. It can potentially shoot some down, gain us some life, act as a buffer for the what is now a 3-turn clock. It was a 3-turn clock before, too. The 2 life didn't matter yet. But if we shoot down a spirit, it will matter. So there's that. We're also going to have to speed up our play a little bit here because we have just about 8.5 minutes. The opponent with 12.5. And, well, post-board, we become a bit of a mid-range deck. Mid-range mirrors tend to take a while. That means that the game might end up going to the wee minutes of our clocks, if you will. And in that kind of scenario, we're going to lose to the clock before they do. Losing to the clock, not something I want to do. The opponent seems to be in the tank. Snapcaster Mage was a fantastic draw. Here's a Tarmogoyf. That's going to hurt. 3 mana for a Liliana. I imagine that's going to tick up. Good on them. Good on them. In for 4. I'm swinging for 4. I don't think they need to have blockers back. Maybe they want to protect Liliana. I guess that's possible. They played a spell, so Huntmaster's not going to transform. Tarfire. Cool. We can deal with Liliana if we so choose. It's going to make the Tarmogoyf really big. But you know what? That Goyf's already really, really big. They might crack this to try to get a removal spell before the transformation. Looks like that's what's going down. Happens. Can't stop it. We're going to shoot them. Shoot a Spirit. Redirect the damage to Liliana. Tarfire Liliana. Resolve. Yes. Important that we do this Tarfire before they get any more priority. Yes. Don't want the opponent to take up the Liliana. That would allow it to survive, and that's really bad. So, we now have to beat 3 Spirits in the air, a 7/8 Goyf on the ground. That's the new objective. We no longer have EE. This is way out of Dismember range. Vapor Snag's gone. Don't think we actually have an out to that Tarmogoyf. We're going to chump. Throw a wolf in front of that. Land for the opponent. Tarmogoyf. That's absolutely the best answer to Tarmogoyf. If the opponent's got a removal spell, I don't want to just straight up lose, so I'm going to leave this wolf back. The wolf also doesn't speed up our... Oh no. Oh no. Guys, I screwed up. Them having that Shambling Vent means we probably can't win, but I so screwed up. We just lost Snapcaster Mage. Sorry guys. I did a bad thing. Okay, well, we're going to play this Tarmogoyf. We're still not dead to a removal spell, so there's that. Soon we will be, but right now we're not. That looks like a removal spell. It is a removal spell. They're going to animate the Shambling Vent. We're going to chump block that Tarmogoyf. Take 3, go to 3. Actually, we'd take 5 if they animated this. They decided not to, which makes me think they have a follow-up. Block here. Take 3. Don't want to waste any time losing this game. Opponent with a follow-up. It's a Siege Rhino. That's going to do. We're just going to scoop. Go to sideboard. So, we want good top decks against this kind of deck because it just totally obliterates what's in your hand. So you have to rely on the top of your deck. When you draw something like a Huntmaster, it's a lot more impactful on the game state than a Delver, a Stubborn Denial, or a Mana Leak. So for that reason, we board in cards like Huntmaster. I'm also thinking of boarding out some counter spells to make our top decks better, because a counter spell off the top, not that great. I might prefer a Lightning Bolt because that can go face. So I'm considering boarding in a Lightning Bolt in exchange for another counter. I'm not sure I like that. Think I gotta think about it more before I actually put it into practice. I could see boarding out the Pyroclasm for the Lightning Bolt. Let's try that. Makes us a little softer to Lingering Souls. Submit. Give it a go. See what we can do against Abzan. On the play here, we're gonna keep... We have the Visions, and we have a really threat-dense hand. I'm going to get probably a Breeding Pool. We can get a Steam Vents to play around Blood Moon a little more. Breeding Pool makes Goyf better. Let's get the Steam Vents. Cast Visions. Bottom both of these. We want lands. Go to the opponent. Flash Freeze. Not bad. Better if we had more lands. Huntmaster. Good card. We hit an island. I probably tap out for Peasy here, right? Use our mana as efficiently as possible. I think that's better than playing Delver. Stubborn Denial is not likely to hit anything. That's just going to waste time. We don't really have time to waste. That's unfortunate. Play Peasy. Go to them. Pyromancer is another reason to take out Pyroclasm. Anyways, so on the topic of top decks, because this is what I wanted to talk about, Pyromancer actually isn't a good top deck. If you have 0 cards in hand and you draw Pyromancer, I keep trying to say Pyroclasm, and you draw Pyromancer, well, congratulations, you have a 2-mana 2/1. That gets pushed. It is kind of good against these kinds of mid-range decks, because it can make a lot of tokens, which is good against Liliana, good at chump blocking, good at attacking through blockers. Gonna start off on this Visions, try to hit that land. We're going to. Tarmogoyf probably going underneath the Misty. Play this Delver of Secrets. We can hold up Stubborn Denial instead to deal with Liliana. I think that's what I want to do. So, Pyromancer isn't actually a good top deck, but it is kind of good against these kinds of decks, which is why I bring it in against midrange. I'm thinking of taking that out for better top decks. That's what I wanted to talk about here with top decks. Pyromancer very clearly got destroyed by a single Fatal Push. So there's that. They didn't have Liliana. Instead, they had Goyf. I'd actually prefer that. I'm going to fetch here. Get a basic forest, because I want Blood Moon to be good. Well, you know what? Tarmogoyf's still going to be fine. I like that they're playing around the Traverse we drew. They're also playing around Mandrills really well by cracking the Spell Bomb there. I just want a forest. And I'm going to... Oh, Goyf is worse now. We no longer have Ferocious Denial. I still think we... Oh, instead we play Delver, hold up Flash Freeze. I kind of like that. Their Goyf isn't that big, so it's not a huge clock. And if they kill our Delver, Ferocious is enabled, and then Stubborn Denial gets a lot better. If they have Liliana, we can still take that out with Denial, so that's fine. Inquisition. Well, that probably is going to invalidate whatever is bad for them. Might make Traverse a bit better. There's that. Just might. Non-zero chance. So far, this game isn't really going our way. I think they take Tarmogoyf. That's what I would take in this spot. Knowing my deck, I'm taking Tarmogoyf. Their Goyf's now a 5/6. That's a big deal. And our best way of interacting with it is gone. We're going to take this. Not a lot we can do against it with Delver. They're just going to pass the turn. Makes sense. They probably don't want to play into the Flash Freeze. Tarmogoyf. Oh, sweet, sweet top deck. If I could Traverse for a green source here, I would. I probably attack with the Delver because double blocking the Tarmogoyf is really bad if they have Abrupt Decay. So I don't think I'm going to do that. Just get in for one. If they have Abrupt Decay, we're in a terrible spot. If they don't, we're in an okay spot. Are they shocking? They didn't. So they might not have Abrupt Decay, which is good. If they have Fatal Push, we're going to denial it. If they have Lily, we denial it. If they have land and both, we're going to lose to something. Sooner or later, you can't counter them all. The opponent not playing around Blood Moon whatsoever. Gonna make the enchantment a very good draw for us if we find it. If/when we find it. If we do top deck a Blood Moon, I'm gonna Traverse out a basic island just to make our mana amazing. That is a little weak to Abrupt Decay. Scavenging Ooze. I think we want to Flash Freeze. Oh, we can't Flash Freeze. That's why they're playing it. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. They're going to go to us. No attacks. Okay. On tap. What do we got? It's a Serum Visions. That's pretty good. How likely are we to turn on this Traverse eventually? We're going to put a Sorcery in the bin. Creature going to get there soon enough. They have a Scavenging Ooze. We're not turning this on. I'm going to get the basic island. Cast Visions. We drew another land. We drew Huntmaster with Bolt on top. Bolt's not that great. Huntmaster is just going to be the darndest thing you ever did see. Play out a land. Hit them with the Aberration. Clock a little bit. Clock a little bit. We can flash in Snapcaster Mage if we really need to jump block. So that's good. That's something. Huntmaster going to do a lot of work. Stirring Wildwood pretty soon. Going to be able to block Delver of Secrets. Which is going to make that look pretty silly. Opponent with just 2 minutes ahead of us now. We can probably close that gap if we hustle. If they have a Path to Exile, we probably denial it. Now the thing is, they know about our counters, so they might try to use a removal spell to bait us into using a counter, which could be really bad for us. On the other hand, removal spell alone is probably going to be really bad for us. They're going to eat a thing. We can't interact with it, so I'm not really even going to bother checking what it is. Snapcaster Mage is going to be really bad in the face of this Scavenging Ooze, aside from being a worse Ambush Viper. I guess it's an Ambush Viper that costs blue instead of green. That's an upside in a deck that doesn't have that much green mana. 3 mana. Nope, 2 mana. 3 mana. Liliana. Oh, that's probably not that threatening. How bad is that for us? Land plus Path is worse. This is just another way they're going to get at us. Oh, man. I'm going to be disciplined. I'm not going to counter it. I don't think I need to counter that. It's going to get them plenty of value. I don't think it's something I need to deal with. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. That lets them attack with Tarmogoyf. Maybe we should have blocked that. We're going to take 4 here. We flash in Snapcaster Mage. We don't block with both. That's bad. Do I just flash in Snapcaster Mage as a blocker? No, because they get to Liliana it. And that's bad. And then they get to eat it with Skoos, and that's bad. We're going to play Huntmaster. That's upside. We're going to be able to hold up Stubborn Denial while having Huntmaster in place, so that's good. They're putting the green mana up. I'm going to just flash this in because I think I'm going to need help. We're not going to be able to profitably play it very soon. So I think I want the help. I might just send everything at the Liliana. How good is that? There are no creatures in the bin yet, so Scavenging Ooze... Oh, the Path, because I tapped out. I tapped out. No, no, don't activate that ability. Let it happen. Let it be. Let it be. Target Visions. I almost shuffled away Huntmaster. Play a land. Cast Huntmaster. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to recover. I believe in us. They're going to be able to gain some life here. I still kind of want to just attack them instead of the Liliana. Think I prefer that. Stubborn Denial got a lot worse because Tarmogoyf's gone. We played around the Path to Exile by not countering Liliana, and then we put the Denial Shield down, which was bad. Don't play Snapcaster Mage there. That's a pretty clear misplay. Think we're going to lose this. Have a feeling. They're going to take out Snapcaster Mage with Liliana, which means it was totally useless playing, because now... So basically, we played the Snapcaster Mage, which meant we couldn't protect the Goyf. And playing the Snapcaster Mage was only good because with the Goyf around, they either had to Liliana the Goyf or Liliana the Snapcaster Mage, so they couldn't get value off of Liliana while we had the Goyf in play. So it was okay to play Snapcaster Mage. But playing the Snapcaster Mage means we can't protect Goyf, which means they can take out Goyf, which means they can Liliana the Snapcaster Mage, which basically has that play go around in a nice little circle. They can grow the Scavenging Ooze, which means we absolutely need to block it. If we don't, we're dead. Don't think I want to trade off Huntmaster here. Think I want to keep it in play. That's going to happen. We go to 4. We have a chance. We have a chance. What can we draw? EE. Could I get an EE? Siege Rhino. We can't flash freeze that. EE. Still a chance. I don't think EE is any longer an out, because now we can't Misty. We are super dead. Hooting Mandrills. We play that. We don't have enough toughness to get in front of this Rhino, so we are in fact dead. We can't fetch. We're going to play out the Mandrills. That's unfortunate. Should not have cast this Snapcaster Mage. That was the defining play. Don't know if we would have won anyways, because they had Path and Rhino, 2 more cards. Their remaining top decks. But I do think we should not have played that Snapcaster Mage. That's probably what did us in. Probably what did us in. So, we have to block all of their attackers while also putting 4 toughness in front of the Rhino, which we actually can do. No, we can't. They're going to Liliana the Mandrills. They Liliana Mandrills. We no longer have 4 toughness for that Rhino. And that's going to do it. Going to be a match loss for playing that Snapcaster Mage. Can't wait to rewatch this and try to figure out what happens if we don't play the Snapcaster Mage. They don't path because they're still playing around Denial. We untap, cast Huntmaster, keep the Denial up. They still probably don't path. They might if they're waiting to draw into another path, or they just have another. Oh, Stirring Wildwood. We're just super duper dead. They can animate this. We do not have sufficient blockers. We are going to take lethal very soon. Bring that guy up. Oh yeah, get in. Alright, how do we block? We can't survive, so what are we going to take out here? 5 toughness, 3 toughness. They're tapped out. We can take out Skoos. 5 toughness, 4 toughness. So we could block the Stirring Wildwood with Mandrills, double block Skoos. Takes out 2 creatures that way. But I kind of just want to send Siege Rhino a message. You guys know what I mean? Let them order damage. GG's opponent. That was a fun match. I enjoy the mid-range ones. They're not good for us. I don't know if I'd say they're bad. Don't think they're good. But you know what? They're almost always fun. And we had fun. Hopefully you all enjoyed that video. Thank you all for watching. And I hope to see you in the next one.